Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Starting off the episode in a slightly lower octave than I normally start the episodes, but yeah, we're back. Far Lands or Bust, this is episode 244. And there are our special guests for this episode. Those of you who listen to Far Lands or Bust with your headphones are very familiar with my neighbors and their garage. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to find some dirt. To be honest, that sounded a little bit too fast for both the opening and closing cycle of the garage door, so I have a feeling there's been a mistake, and it will be making that noise once again very soon. Which way's west? Can't see with all these cliffs. That way's west. Let's head under the arch of the neighbor's garage doorsness. That's what this will be known as. But yes, episode 244. Here we go. Continuing westward to the far lands. Stabbing westward. Late 90s reference. Ooh, something died. Skeleton residue. But yo, a lot of arches around here. That's pretty epic right there, I do say so myself. You can hear Ethos saying he has the greatest Minecraft seed. He has all these amazing areas and mountains and arches. I say I have seen far more of my own world and say it is quite awesome itself indeed. And it doesn't have any of those pesky update chunk borders that you get when you do keep a world for as long as he's kept his world throughout the terrain updates. You get those flat vertical walls. I don't believe I have a single one of those in this world because I never played through a terrain generation update because we stopped at 1.7.3 beta, and that is where we will remain forever. All right, so yeah, episode 244, Far Lands or Bust here. A lot of donations. You guys are great. It's just like blah. That's like the word that my brain makes when I log into my Child's Play charity donation widget and I see, hey, suddenly some $400 more than what we had just 2 days ago from the last episode. We are now up to $24,661.42. Crazy stuff right there. We are going to reach our 25% milestone far sooner than I could have ever imagined. So thank you, everybody who donated. We had 3 separate donations of $100, plus all the other awesome donations that came in just in the last 2 days. Great, thank you. I really do appreciate that, and I'm sure Child's Play Charity and all the kids that you're helping out in hospitals around the world also appreciate that. You can learn more at childsplaycharity.org about what they do. There's a map of all the different hospitals they are affiliated with. There is, I know, I would like you to donate through farlandsorbust.com, and then that goes to our charity goal, but there's a map of hospitals at childsplaycharity.org. And you can actually, if you prefer, say there's a hospital near you, you can donate for the Child's Play charity cause directly to a partner hospital through that. Obviously, that then won't count towards the the Far Lands or Bust total, but if you want to keep it a little bit more local, you have that option. But the money that goes through farlandsorbust.com is just general money. There it is. There it is. The garage door. Sorry. I shouldn't mention it so often. Some of you say you never hear it, but I certainly feel it as well. In the ground. It shakes. The foundation. There it goes. All right. Yes, in and out. Just keep making those noises. They could probably hear me through the walls, and now they're just trolling me. Sorry, I was trying to explain. The money that you donate through farlandsorbust.com just goes to Child's Play charity, and then they distribute as they see fit for whatever needs or locations they see fit. But if you do want to get more specific, you can find out how at childsplaycharity.org. What was I going to say? I remember I mentioned before, I could theoretically swap out my office, where my computer desk and everything is located, with my bedroom, and then we would never hear that again in a KurtJMac video. However, these neighbors of mine come and go at all hours throughout the 24-hour day. So I don't know that I would sleep very well because that noise would be going on and off at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., you know. So it's give and take. It is now a signature thing. You are listening to and watching an authentic KurtJMac video when you hear the garage door. And it's not like a normal garage door either. There is something seriously mechanically wrong with their garage door. It requires perhaps some lubrication, some new springs. Actually, my garage door spring busted the first year I lived here, so I could assume they probably require a new spring. Oftentimes it does get stuck. I hear it like go up halfway, and then go ka-chonk, and then go back down, and they hit it like 3 more times. Ah, brother. Anyway, enough complaining about neighbors. Let's continue to the far lands. Obviously, that's what we're doing. This is a neat little rolling hill that we have coming up here, but I have some Minecraft news. Minecraft news indeed. It has been narrowed down that Minecon 2013 rather, excuse me, which I've previously talked about, has been confirmed to happen in the United States. It has been narrowed down by Jeb that it will happen on the East Coast. East Coast. And there will be an official announcement by the end of May, the end of this month. And the tickets would possibly go on sale by the end of summer. This all came from a tweet from Jeb that then people wildly started speculating on, so that he further had to go onto I believe it was Reddit and specify. This is the quote from Jeb. I know East Coast is very unprecise, but it will be announced in a few weeks. As far as I know, the contract with the location has been signed. Oh, check this out. Suckity though. My world is awesome too. Sorry, that is exactly what Jeb said. No, end quote. No, I'm sorry. The contract with the location has been signed, so it's mainly a question of people getting back from their business trips, and an ETA for an announcement would be the end of May. Tickets would be available later, probably end of summer, but I could be wrong, and that is, end quote, what Jeb said regarding Minecon being on the East Coast. Of course, that leads to even further wild speculations. That's good news. That's good news in my eyes, because for me, it was either between being as how well the location of Disneyland Paris worked out. I figured it was probably either between Disneyland California or Disney World Florida. So that rules out Disneyland California, which I know, I don't know why so many people, I said is in LA, I'm sorry. It's outside of LA, even though when you look at a map, you say LA, it's really about the size of, like, Massachusetts. So the LA area, people, if they were going to Disneyland, would have to fly into LA airport and deal with LA. So that, I'm glad that it's not on the West Coast. LA, I personally don't have too much of a distinct need or want or desire to visit LA anytime in the near or distant future. So that's good news for me. That has crossed that off the list. East Coast is a little bit up in the air, however. I'm hoping, as you all know, for Disney World, Florida. Disney worked out great. It's kind of a good enclosed location, so people can stay on site. There are things to do other than just Minecon, because we all know that Minecon, the convention, can be a bit sparse and somewhat derpily handled at times, so it's good to have an entire ecosystem, a park adjoined to it, so that there's things people and families, obviously Minecraft being a family game, families, younger kids attend, so that would be good for that. So I'm all for Disney World Florida, which is in Orlando, which is half an hour away from Cocoa Beach area, which contains Kennedy Space Center, which would be an awesome place to be able to visit. So I'm all for Florida. I'm a little bit kind of worried. I could see, they haven't sometimes made the most sound decisions about where to hold Minecon. So slightly worried that New York is also on the East Coast, and that, I don't know, would be a very good idea at all. New York is very expensive, not really kid-friendly. It's not an enclosed ecosystem. You'd go to Minecon, Minecon's over, you leave the convention center, and then there's the entire city of New York, which, a little bit daunting, a little bit, like I said, expensive, and kind of, it wouldn't be too friendly, in my opinion. But either way, we're waiting until the end of this month to hear. Fingers crossed for Florida, Disney World. Let's go to sleep. And that wraps up Minecraft newsness. Bling. All right. Let's see. Whoa. Careful, Wolfie. Hi. Oh, you had to jump. You couldn't have just slowly walked off. You had to actually take a leap. A leap of faith. Careful, Wolfie. Careful, Wolfie. Careful, Wolfie. I'll catch you. I'll catch you. I'll catch you. Oh, God. Oh, he's going back up. Okay, let's just quickly get down. Ow, ow. All right, he spawned. My boots aren't really taking... My pants are. Why are my pants taking damage from that? That might be from other things. But yeah, that wraps up Minecraft news and that. I have a ton of questions. So many questions that have piled up, both from the donations comment field and also just YouTube comments and things like that. So I would like to start getting through these. Not so much maybe rapid fire, because some of them might be a little bit long form, but they're good questions. If they've made it onto my list on my notepad, then they are good questions that I wish to answer. First one from a donator, Pigpen, asked, are you going to the BT meetup where Generic B will wear a dress? Yes, spoiler alert, Generic B and BOO were playing, what were they playing? Call of Duty Black Ops 7, 3, 2, whatever the latest one is. And the first one to reach a certain experience level would win that little tournament they were holding, and the loser would have to wear a dress in public. And apparently, Generic B lost, and he offered once again not to just do it on his street, but to do it in public at a meetup. So I think they're trying to plan something similar to what they had the BT meetup before in the Chicagoland area. I don't know. I'll have to wait for details from them to see what they're planning. That could always be an option. It depends. Who knows? We will see. I know I missed the last one, but we'll see. I don't have a specific answer for that. We don't know what the plans are. So thank you for the donation, Pigpen, and the question. Next question. Oh, okay. You sit down. That's fine. I thought I almost punched him. Boop, 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 boop. All right, now you can get up, although I should have waited till after I broke the workbench. Stop it. Spelunk. Next question, I guess along the same lines of other mindcrackers. Seeing as you're enjoying playing F1 2012 with Vintage Beef, has this made you... sorry, I know Wolfie was going to spawn. Has this made you interested in watching the current F1 season, or just playing the game enough? Or is just playing the game enough from Raising Hell 07? Well, first of all, as you know, I don't have cable, and at least in the United States, Formula One isn't a big enough sports event. It doesn't draw big enough of a crowd to make it to the main network channels. So when it does air in the United States, it's on like some third-tier NBC sports network that you need some sort of extended package of cable subscription in order to get. So I wouldn't be able to watch it live or by whatever replay they might have it. That's another problem, being such an international and global... You know, they race at tracks all over the world. The time zones usually don't equate to being able to watch it live, but either way, I wouldn't be able to. I know there are some streaming services of shady, questionable, legality that will stream the Formula One races or stuff like that, but I have not been really that much keeping up with the Formula One. I know Beef and I have been scheduling our races since we're doing longer races. We're releasing them every week, and it's pretty closely been syncing up with the actual Formula One season, so that's kind of a happy accident. In that when we release our videos, the actual weekend we release them is usually the track that we're actually racing on. So that's kind of cool. But no, I haven't been keeping up with Formula One. I don't know if... I mean, it seems like there's a lot more in terms of strategy and almost politics that goes into Formula One, where the races don't seem to be... I mean, I'm sure there are times when there are close races, but... they're generally, you know, the winner wins by 10 seconds or something like that, or just because they took one less pit stop or something like that, and they're surprisingly quick races since they don't refuel. The type of racing I'm familiar with is NASCAR, and, you know, a 400, 500 mile race is like 200, 300 laps, as opposed to Formula One is, you know, maybe 50 laps at the most or something like that. So, I don't know. And of course, NASCAR on the flip side is kind of can tend to be boring for that reason as well. If it's not a close race, it's kind. I guess I don't know. Here's an analogy. In terms of racing, Formula One is kind of like football. It comes down to you know, a lot more strategy and specifically planning your points and your possessions and your pit stops, stuff like that. As opposed to NASCAR is more like baseball, where it definitely is a longer drawn-out process. Definitely a longer drawn-out season as well. How many races are there in the NASCAR season? There's like a lot, aren't there? Like 40 or something like that. There's a lot of races, and you visit you visit a single racetrack multiple times throughout the season. They're long races. They can be close at times, but other times they can be complete blowouts. You know, as opposed to like Formula One and the American football season, it's, you know, there's only 20 races. There's, you know, not that many chances. It doesn't seem long enough to determine a champion, much like the American football season. Same difference. And then with NASCAR, it seems too long, like it's a little bit too drawn out. There's a little bit too much time for things to happen. So. Analogies. Sporting analogies from somebody who doesn't watch sports. Can't go wrong with that. So yeah, thanks for that question and the donation, of course. Another one from Price IV. Oh, I guess that's 4? Yeah, Price Roman numeral 4. Donated and then asked, first, how do you feel? What do you think of doppelgangers? I don't know. I can't say I give much thought to them. Sure, okay, you know, like I've said before, there are 7 billion plus some odd people on the world. There's only so many different combinations of features and body types and skin colors and, you know, nose sizes and eye colors. You're bound to find two people that look similar. I'm waist deep in snow. It's like it's like Legos when you remove their feet is when you could say they're like sinking in quicksand. Hello, Wolfie. I'm very short. I'm as tall as Wolfie. Lol. All right, let's get on with it. What was I saying? Doppelganger. So yeah, I haven't thought about it. I mean, there have been some people that people say I look like. I know Reddit has an ongoing thing where they're constantly saying BOO looks like certain celebrities or things like that. I don't know. I don't think about it often. So sorry. I mean, it's not. I don't think there's some mystical, magical meaning behind it or anything. Simply because I don't believe in any of that stuff. But it's just genetics. That's how things work. Sometimes that happens just based on sheer randomness, chaos, and chance. The second question Price had is completely out of the blue and separately. What do you think about suit jacket color? Should it be based on occasion, or is black and navy blue the only two colors you really need to work well? This coming from the fact that I do sometimes talk about, and I do claim to pay a little bit more closer attention. It's a hobby of mine. I guess you would say menswear, dressing a little bit, keeping up with the traditional and quote-unquote correct way to dress, either formally or casually, etc., whatnot, and indeed, that was said backwards. Here's the rule. I get a lot of this. I follow the blog Put This On, which is a series about menswear. And it's, I think, what's their tagline? Dress like a grown-up or something like that, or a dressing like a grown-up guide, stuff like that. Here's what I've learned from them. Basically, you're talking about, when we're talking about suit colors, a suit is more than just the jacket, first of all. When you buy a suit, it has to be the suit, jacket, and the pants. You buy them as a pair because they're both cut from the same piece of cloth. That way the color matches and is consistent. As opposed to if you're buying a suit and you buy the jacket and the pants separately, that's often cheaper, but that's not as good because then it's possible that the suit and the pants are cut from, while they're cut from the same piece of fabric, they might be cut from separate parts of the roll of fabric, and the dye might be uneven. So that's why when you buy a suit, the jacket and the pants are combined as one, and you should not separate them. So suit, we're talking suits. If you're talking, oh gosh, I don't have enough dirt or building materials. Hold on. How did I run out of dirt? Boop and a boop. All right, let me continue answering this question in the morning after we have safely slept. Woof and a woofness and formal wear adviceness, I guess, which is something I don't know that I would have ever thought I would be giving out to anybody. But basically, anyway, here's the rules. In terms of suit color, we're just talking color here, not anything else. From Put This On and other sources, the first suit you should own should be a navy blue. That is the most versatile and widely accepted suit color you could possibly have. A dark, not like a bright blue, but a navy blue, because it could go for formal events. It could go for more casual events. It could work at a job for day-to-day wear, a little bit more casually, with or without a tie. You don't want to own a black suit, actually. The black is actually the least versatile. Unless you are a mortician or you work at a funeral home, black suits are actually, you can't get much use out of them. Because they are more inclined for more, I guess, less happy occasions like funerals and things like that, or evening wear, which you generally don't get away from. So a black suit is not great. It's either your first suit should be navy or a charcoal gray, both kind of dark colors, neutrals. They can go with many different, shoes and ties and things like that. So that is the advice I've gotten. I personally don't own a suit yet. The last suit I did buy, it doesn't fit me anymore because I've lost a bunch of weight. Thank you very much, gluten. And also, I bought it from a department store, which is not the greatest quality place to go to buy a suit, but it was a navy suit. Navy, 2-button, single-breasted, notch lapel. That is your basic suit. Flat front, pants. Stay away from pleated pants. But yeah, those are the two colors. Once you have those two colors, I think is the advice where then if you do want to end up having like a third suit, then you could start to experiment with getting lighter colors, perhaps a khaki for the summer, cotton khaki colored tan, or a lighter gray for kind of a summer suit. If you live in a colder area, perhaps a darker wool suit, tweed even, if you want to get a little bit more crazy. And then, as a final resort, you know, a black suit maybe, but then you're probably, in the occasion you would wear a black suit, you're probably more concerned with formal wear and things like that. That's very specific, so that is a strange... We went from, what did we talk about? From Formula One and NASCAR and doppelgangers to suits. Suits. So the strange and wide variety of topics you've come to expect from Farlands or Bust continues, as we do to the Farlands. Right, Wolfie? Pant, pant. Pant, pant indeed. Let's see where else we can go. Questions. Gotta get these out of the way. Don't waste time. Let's see. From June T, have you ever felt that playing a game but not commentating during playing a game feels awkward? Or is it the opposite? I don't know that it feels awkward. It just feels, like I've said many times before, the way I play video games now is with commentary. It's just what I've come used to now. I mean, there are times where if I am playing a game by myself and I almost start to say something because I notice something funny happened, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not recording, nobody's listening, who am I talking to? So, I wouldn't say it feels awkward, but it is the way I play games now. Trying to think of a situation, you know, like building on the Minecraft server if I'm just trying to get some work done. Random empty room. That's a situation I would record or play a game without recording. Building a ship in Kerbal Space Program. That's something I would do without recording. But yeah, I mean, there are games that I currently own that I'm simply not playing because I'm not planning on making videos on. So, you know, just I don't have time. You know, if I'm going to choose to play a video game, I'm also going to choose to record it because that is the most, you know, I get the most out of it from then. So, I wouldn't say it would feel awkward, but I don't do it as much anymore. And that is the way that cookie crumbles. So, thanks again, June T, for the question and donation. Trying to think, trying to find, whoa, this is a weird one. Drarakos, there's two R's, Drarakos says, my parents seem to think that no matter how old you are or responsible someone is, if they play video games, they are childish. Any thoughts on the matter? Try playing video games and commentating over them. That might sound a little bit more ridiculous to your parents. I suppose that's this is actually topical, because I don't have much information on it, but I've been reading some articles and seeing blog posts and tweets about was it like NBC Dateline or Nightline or Dayline or Clothesline or whatever the news network channel is with Katie Couric, did an expose, you know, with very dramatic reenactments and stuff like that, talking about violent video games. And it was apparently, I didn't watch it, so I can't say, but it was apparently very one-sided, saying that violent video games are responsible for all the world's problems and blah, 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 blah. Kind of taking that, I'm assuming what Reiko's parents' point of view is that they're childish things, they're kids, and I suppose it is, in my opinion, it is a stigma that definitely carries with video games, because at first they were very much, and they still are, marketed towards the younger generation. It's a toy, it's a game, you know, much like even board games. I suppose there are certain people who think people who play board games or tabletop games think that is more related to childish activity versus something an adult should be doing. But I think as we, the generation who has grown up with and continues to play video games into our adulthood, as we grow up and end up, we start to become the adults in the society. it's going to be much more of an accepted thing. You know, like say in movies now, when there's a scene where there's dialogue and say the characters are at a bar playing pool or something like that, or maybe they're what am I trying to think of? I'm thinking of Seinfeld. I know there were some plot lines where there were conversations happening and they were playing racquetball or tennis, or something that you would associate with an activity that adults do in order to get together and pass the time, etc. Or perhaps they're watching they're at a baseball game or watching a sporting event or something like that. I believe that eventually we're going to see a time where those movies happen, or take place, and these conversations between characters happen, but instead of playing pool at a bar or being at a sporting event, maybe they'll be sitting down and playing video games, playing some sort of, Mario Kart type party game, and that, and that's not part of the plot point. That's just kind of the background, the situation that they're in that allows for this, wow, I told you they'd be special guests this episode, and they certainly have gotten their fill of opening and closing their garage door. But yeah, the video game will be just the background activity that's happening that allows the conversation between characters to happen. Or maybe instead of being at a baseball game, they're at an esports event or something like that. So I think there's definitely a generation, our parents or our parents' parents, who might be a little bit adverse to it. I mean, I would hope they're not overly critical or say even as far as saying prejudice against people or adults who play video games, saying it's childish and balderdash, blah, 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 get off my lawn, you damn kids. That sort of thing. So I think it's going to be more widely accepted as the generation, like I said, who grew up with video games and continues to play video games, begins to be the ones making more of these decisions. Careful, Wolfie, don't be spawning into trees. I am, don't get on there, Wolfie. I'm at a loss for where to make a hidey hole. These trees seem dangerous. Dangerous. Quickly now. I don't like this location whatsoever, but I will choose it. And I will dig a very friendly... Friendly? I don't know why this is a friendly location. A very secure, few blocks down hidey hole. Sorry, but yeah, to finish my thought, I think we've already actually started to actually see that in movies, TV shows, and things, where the video game, I think, what was it, 40-Year-Old Virgin, they were playing video games, they were adults, and stuff like that, and they were playing video games and having conversations. It's the Seth Rogen character and the other guy, I forgot his name. Also, it was in that one movie with Adam Sandler, where his wife and kids had died in the 9/11 attacks, where he was playing Shadow of the Colossus, and it really wasn't seen as, oh, he's playing video games, that's weird. It was actually a very well thought out plot point, because in losing his wife and his kids, Shadow of the Colossus is all about loss. The character loses his girlfriend or whoever that may be in the game and tries to bring her back to life, so it actually became a plot point. He was playing that game because he emotionally connected with the character in the video game. So when more and more of that stuff starts to happen, I think it will be far more widely accepted, and then we don't have to worry about, say, people like your parents who say that it's a childish thing and should only be a toy for children, and etc. And hooray, much rejoice will be had by all the gamers across the lands. Oh, that's probably going to be too many. Oh yeah, that doesn't work. Let's do that. Yeah, that's good. All right, so still plenty more questions to go through. We've got plenty of things to talk about on the way to the far lands. And again, I appreciate all the very generous donations, every single one, to Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. I could potentially see us reaching $25,000 before the beginning of next week. So I'm looking forward to that. 25% of our way to our $100,000 goal, and then once we reach $100,000, I will press F3 and we will find out how far we have come in Farlands or Bust and how much further we have to go to reach the Farlands. Right, Wolfie? Been barking all this time, and now you're silent. Oh, there we go. All right, thank you. So yeah, thanks again for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. I'm just gonna let this happen. Listen. Oh, garage door.